Well, I want to thank you again for buying a set of Roscoe and Rose Red's Sure Grip skulls. Now, you may have bought the lovely Marie Antoinette, or you may have bought Igor. And I want to show you something about the skulls that we're using here in this particular video. You notice that each one of these skulls is slightly different. Well, that won't be the case when you get your skulls, because see, these are the ones I rejected. These are the prototypes. The one that you're going to get is made off of a model that I found to be perfect. And so that's why you're going to get it, and that's why you're going to see these, the slightly different models in this video. Also, you're going to see slightly different models of our lovely Marie Antoinette, the smaller of the skulls. Now, we're going to talk about the one-hand fan. And one of the things that we sell this thing with is we talk about how easy it is to do the one-hand fan, even for smaller hands. And that's where we sell these little Marie Antoinette skulls. And they're not really all that little. These are normal size shells. This is about the same size as a walnut shell you would get in any other shell game, all right? But this is a very easy grip to get with this particular kind of shell because it's got a naturally ovoid shape. It has a slight undercut at the bottom, vertical size. It makes it real easy for you to grip these shells, these skulls, all right? And that's why we say that it's easy to master the one-hand fan with this, because you're looking at the one-hand fan right here. Now, it's also easy to master the one-hand fan using Igor. And I'm going to show you, using Igor, how to do the one-hand fan. The one-hand fan is nothing more than gripping the skulls between the outstretched fingers. Now, you notice it's not between the thumb and the finger, it's between the outstretched fingers. You'll notice also that the skull is facing the audience. That's the way that you're going to grip it, and you're going to show it to them like this. You're going to show the bottom of the skulls to them and the top of the skulls. And then you're going to do your one-hand fan. But in order to do the one-hand fan, you need to know one more pinch, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is called the back pinch. The P is going to wind up right here between the middle finger and the ring finger, because when you grip the skull this time, it's a little different. You're going to grip the skull with the top of your hand down on the playing surface, and that finger right there under the eye socket, just like that. Okay, the skull is going to be on the P like this. You're going to grip the skull, and not very tightly. You're just going to take a light grip on it, and you're going to do what we used to call, some people actually still call this the kick steel. I call it the back pinch, all right? You're going to shove the skull forward like this. And when you do, that P is going to roll out of the skull, and it's going to wind up in the back pinch, just like this. And it's a light pinch. You're just very lightly holding the P off the table. When you pull the skull back, of course, you allow the P to drag on the surface, and it reloads under the skull. Nothing to it. You press forward on the skull like this, the P comes out into the back pinch. You drag back on the skull like this. If you hold the P off the surface as you drag back, of course, the P will stay in the back pinch. But if you drag the P on the surface as you pull the skull back, the P loads under the skull. That's the back pinch. Now we'll get on to how to use the one-hand fan in your game.